Hello, good evening. It's Saturday night. It's 9:30 Central European time, and this is ESC Fan TV. You were wondering what you were going to do with that gap in between MGP Semi-Final 3 and Benidorm Fest, weren't you? Here we are, half an hour of a review of tonight's entries. Joining me in the hot seat, obviously, I have a fantastic panel. We've got the lovely Elliot.
Hi, guys.
We've got the lovely Alina.
Hello.
Welcome back to the lovely Nicholas from Denmark.
Hello, it's good to be back.
We've also got Sean.
Hi, everyone.
Looking wonderful as always, and I'm loving the t-shirt, a prelude to semi-final 4 there. Okay, and also joining me as always, and in the chat room this evening as well, it's my co-host Stuart.
Good evening, Tom. Melodi Grand Prix Heat 3 done. That was fun, wasn't it?
It was. I still haven't found that hammer though. I mean, if she stole that hammer, God knows where it is.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I think Thor's having a very, very bad day. First his hammer, then the thunder. Someone give that man a stiff drink, Tom.
Well, although what we can say is thunder and lightning, it certainly got exciting, didn't it? Guys, don't forget, keep the conversation going in the chat room this evening. Do like and subscribe. Keep the conversation going as well during Benidorm Fest on Facebook, Twitter and Insta, because we're back at 11:30 Central European time to review that as well. But let's jump in. The first duel this evening was between Mari Pola and obviously the winner, which was Oda with Hammer of Thor. We're going to look at Mari Pola's entry first. Was it our loss? This is the question. Elliot, you were the one who predicted this was going to go through. You were on for a hat-trick. It hasn't happened. Has it been our loss?
Don't. I know, like such a muppet on that Thursday night show when I said this could win the whole bloody show, and it doesn't even get past its first sodding duel. I'm not happy. No, this was the best song of the night. I think she sang it right. I think she performed it really well, and I think Norway. Do you know like that meme of Jamay where it says that was so random? I don't know why I just did that. I think Norway just decided to do that tonight because this is the song that should be in the final, and I think Norway made a huge mistake. She looked great. She sang great. Yes, I'm bitter. And I blame Tom's kiss of death.
We've had 2 weeks of Elliot looking pleased as punch. Finally, someone has punctured that balloon. Yes, I believe it was my kiss of death I gave the song when I backed it to win on Thursday night as well. Alina, was this really the song that deserved to go out in Duel 1 this evening?
Not for me. Like, I was so confused by the sentence. Love me like a lizard. Like, huh? Love me like a lizard? What the fuck? How? How?
Depends how long the tail is. You know, what can we say? Sorry, male humour. Nicholas, let's hear from you on this one.
I don't know how one picks up from that, but no, I think
don't touch the lizard's tail, Nicholas.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. No, Your Loss, that was definitely my favorite. I think of the whole MGP this year, a fantastic song. I grew up with very much this like pop rock Disney Channel music, so this was right up my alley. I feel like she performed it very well, very professional for someone only 17 years old. She owns that stage. Hopefully she'll be back next year because I think she is definitely one who could win MGP with the right song. This could have been it. I thought it could go straight to the final, but apparently the Norwegian people wanted something else.
This is true. I mean, Sean, we had a discussion on Thursday night show about the Avril Lavigne vibes and things like this it gave off. Was it just a bit too, late 90s, early 2000s for the Norwegian public, do you think?
Perhaps it was. I mean, I had to listen to... I missed a lot of the first performance because my internet had a bit of a wobble, but after the show I managed to rewind and watch it again. And just something struck me about the whole song and the whole... It just, to me, it sounds more like a song more suited to a girl group like of the Little Mix style. I can imagine them performing that song with a cracking dance routine and really taking it to the next level. Don't get me wrong, she had a great vocal, and it's a good song, but I just think it could have been taken to the next level by a big, bold sexy girl group.
Oh, interesting. Stu,
Are you there?
is this something that could have
I
actually
lost
given
you.
this ticket the ticket to the final?
So I predicted this to win, didn't I? I like Elliot, I said I think probably this will go through. I think this was the best song of the four, and I thought vocally she was insane tonight. I thought it was really, really great and polished performance. The only slight criticism I would give is I felt that the song, the vocal, and the actual performance were completely disjointed. I couldn't see the connection between the song and what was actually going on stage. And I also felt there was a lack of emotion, a lack of performance in Maribola's face tonight. Vocally, she's brilliant. She's 17, so she's still learning how to deliver on stage. Can't fault the vocal at all. Brilliant, almost studio-esque in its delivery. But I was just looking for something a bit more. I didn't understand the chairs. I didn't understand the staging at all, really. She did look stunning, though, in that silver jumpsuit. But for me, it just lacked something. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. And that's why I think she struggled to progress.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was kind of expecting late 90s, early 2000s-esque slight trash. I think, a couple of lizards on stage would have been quite good, maybe in the background. It tried to be classier than it actually was, I think. But maybe that is the last time they will take staging advice from Elliot. Now, let's move on to Duel 2. Duel 2 featured Vilda with Titans, who went through to the gold duel, and then Sterla with Ska Echeta. And I apologise, I probably haven't pronounced that correctly. Obviously, it wasn't Sterla's night. He went out in the duel. Guys, for me, this was the worst staging of the night. I didn't get it. I would have preferred the whole Westlife thing with a stool and he stood up partway through. The whole hang down mic thing, it looked like he was trying to deliver a radio performance. Let's start off with Nicholas. What did you make of this performance?
Well, first of all, for those who are interested in film, they may know of this subreddit called Shitty Rigs, where people post the weirdest ways that people rig up things in movies. I think this microphone placement is a contender for Shitty Rigs, because that looked very, very strange. I like the song. I think it's a nice little song, but it's very much this kind of like Paul Ray kind of style. We've seen it in Sweden with Paul Ray. It's very much this same kind of style. And I just don't think it always translates very well to an audience. I think, especially for a Saturday night show where a lot of the rest, the other songs are these like upbeat, fun songs, exciting songs. And then there's this where you need so much charisma to pull it off. And I don't think he had that. And with a song being, it's okay, but it's not the best song ever in the world, I sadly don't think it got that many votes in the end.
I think you're right. It sounds like something the BBC would kind of internally select for the United Kingdom's entry. To be fair, James Fox vibes, just saying. Stu, let's go to you on this one. Was there anything this guy could have done to actually get himself through to the gold duel?
I 100% agree with what Nicholas has just said. It was a really weird setup for a song. I quite like the simplicity of it. I think he clearly got a great voice. It was a decent vocal, but there was so many things wrong with the performance. Why was the microphone hanging down like someone had hidden an ice lolly away from a young child and he's just trying to get to it, And then you kind of had the 1992 Eurovision Michael Ball suit that he was wearing. What was all that about? There was just so many things wrong with it. And quite honestly, there was also a real, I'm going to say this very consistently tonight, there was a real disconnect between song and performance. I felt it was almost emotionless on stage. Another good vocal. But, when it comes to Eurovision, and especially semi-finals or heats within a Eurovision national selection, you kind of want the performers to give it their absolute all. And they need to understand the difference between just standing there singing a song and actually delivering a performance. And that there's a massive difference and a world of difference from what we saw tonight between, someone like Oda Garanca, which arguably wasn't the strongest song tonight, but was by far, in my opinion, the best delivery. Sterler, for me, not particularly very keen on the performance, Tom.
Thanks for that, Steve. Now, Elliot, Nicholas mentioned the idea of Paul Ray. And I know Stu mentioned this idea of Michael Ball's suit, but surely Paul Ray's jacket was an underlying feature of the performance this evening.
Oh, it was such a copy of not Talking in My Sleep, the missing piece. It was almost like, let's just do that. Like, from the beige suit to the shitty microphone, which never looks good. I know, Alina, you love it, but it looks awful. and just this sort of blasé delivery. Like, it was just so Paul Ray. It's like at least try and make this your own. It was flat. I fell out of it within the first minute, and I don't mean to be rude to him. He's a good singer, but this just did nothing. And like as Stuart said, when you're in a heat and you want to say get people on board, and you've only got a short space of time to do it in, you need to give it more than that. And it was just, it felt phoned in, and that's the annoying thing. It felt too much of a copy of what we've seen before.
So are we suggesting that, you know, Paul Ray last year had a missing piece in his performance? Sterler clearly had the missing piece, but the rest of the pieces are still with Paul Ray back in Stockholm.
Yeah, it was very much a square peg in a round circle.
How did you manage to do that after having a drink? How did you get all those words to come out in that order?
Practice.
Wait to Spain later, it won't happen again.
Elena, you clearly liked this performance more than everyone else.
Am I the only one who is obsessed with the microphone staging? I loved it. I even showed it to my boyfriend, who has stuff in the industry. Ugh, my words are blurring out of my mouth again. I'm sorry, but I am obsessed with it. I love it so much. It's beautiful. Why do you all guys hate it? I don't get it. So beautiful.
Oh, I mean, it looks like he was trying to record the song for radio. I think that was my problem with it, because as a television show, I thought the microphone actually was obstructive to the performance. And don't forget, they're not actually performing with an audience. And so, yeah, it just didn't really work for me. Sean, wrap this one up for us.
Well, first of all, I don't really see many comparisons to Paul Ray. I think Paul Ray missing piece last year, the staging. I love the staging to that. This, apart from the lighting or the filter on the lighting effects, it really had nothing going for the staging. The song's pretty decent. Is it? It's an average middle of the road. I'll tell you what this song is. It's a Snickers bar. I eat them, but I don't know if I like them. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. It's one of them. So yeah, I can see why it didn't win its duel, I'm afraid. But yeah. Sorry about my internet connection, by the way.
It's fine for those people that aren't in the UK. The north of the UK is currently being battered by, AKA yet another storm. I think is the best way to put it. It meant that down south, me today, 13 degrees, sunshine, beautiful day, lovely, nicest day in ages. The north, just don't go there.
Sean, Sean, you want to have a word? You want to have a word with Oda? Apparently, she stole the thunder. Have a word with her.
Stu, what are the chat room saying?
Not a lot, really. I think the view is that this was nicely staged, but a bit emotionless. I think it's general agreement with the panel. But there's not a lot of chatter going on tonight. So go on, guys, get your comments coming in. Tell us what you think of these songs. Don't just let us give our views. We want to hear your views too. Send your comments through to me.
Now, obviously, in the case of every duel, there can only be one winner. And the winner of Duel 2 was Builder Titans. Sadly, she didn't go on to win the whole thing. But, not going to lie, this was my second favourite of the night, and therefore also most likely not to go through. But let's go straight to Elena. Builder Titans, surely this had something going for it.
Yeah, which song was that again?
That was the one that defeated the song that you just raved about.
But was that the one like the Hammer of Tom?
The Hammer of Tom.
Yeah, Hammer of Tom. I'm saying Hammer
No,
of Tom.
that was the one that won the whole thing, Elena. We're talking about the one that lost out in the Golden Jewel.
But like, I watched the YouTube video, so I don't know who won.
The gold jumpsuit.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh no! Oh, blah. No. Next one, please. Next. Thank you. No. Oh no. No. Next. Thank you. Next.
Oh, I quite liked that. Oh, I mean, to be fair, I thought this was a contender for Stu's Charity Drive 2022.
Not
Stu?
in a million years. Not even if it snows. Let me tell you, if that's not a contender for best Lisa Scott Lee from Steps impersonation in the world ever, then I don't know what is, Tom. I must admit, I'm on a Facebook group with a lot of these people, and us people saying that that's a really unattractive, unappealing suit. I like that, and I know someone who likes that as well. Elliot would wear that, wouldn't you, Elliot?
No.
It's you words.
I think they said it was gold.
Stuart,
but when you
you
looked at
would.
it closer, it was more green.
I would wear it. Absolutely, I would wear it. And then I'd pass it to Elliot so he could wear it after.
I tell you what, you could both wear it for a charity thing later this year.
We could look. The song itself was okay. I said on Thursday I thought it was kind of a meh to me, but I thought she delivered it okay. Vocally, it was a bit shaky at times. Again, no real storytelling, a lack of emotion on stage. I kind of got bored halfway through, but to be honest, at that point I was thinking this is probably going to win it all. Because I thought outside, do the Norwegians really want to send the Hammer of Thor, which we'll come to in a minute? And I thought when this comes up against the Hammer of Thor, this will probably get the win. But alas, it didn't. Not a lot to say on this one, Tom. Wasn't very good, was it?
See, I quite liked it. I would have happily seen this one win tonight's heat. Let's take Elliot's point of view on this. I mean, obviously, your loss went out in the first duel. Titans, I think, would have been the next best thing, surely.
Yeah, but her vocal was probably the weakest of the night. She sounded incredibly shaky the first time, and then both times when she did that big note when she's on the plinth thing, sounded off. I don't know if she was nervous or the adrenaline, but her vocal wasn't there tonight, and it's a shame because the song is decent. It's very polished. And yeah, it just wasn't a very cohesive performance, unfortunately. And then you had her backing dancers just swishing around some weird capes, which just there were some choices tonight in Norway, and I don't understand any of them, and that is the weirdest one.
But you are.
sorry.
I do like the fact that you are wearing your Troy Bolton outfit, which after the High School Musical comments on
It's not the red and white one, so it's not fully High School Musical.
It's the away kit. So, Nicholas, what did you make of Titans?
Honestly, not a lot, if I'm honest. It's a nice enough song in the studio version, but I feel like she really struggled with the vocal during the chorus. It very much relied on the backing vocals. I think it's one of those kinds of songs that's just kind of there to fill because you have to do these 4 semifinals. You have to find all these songs. So yeah, whatever, we'll let this one in. But that also means there's just not a lot to say about it. I think it could have gone through simply because it's just kind of like one of those, it's fine, and when there's nothing better, we'll vote for it. But it would never stand out in the final. It would never do anything in the final. So I think it's all right it didn't go through.
There seems to be a consensus amongst the panel this evening. Sean, are you joining in with this consensus?
I think it's a shame because it could have been so much better as a performance. I mean, yes, she missed a big bum note. She was flat as a witch's tit, wasn't she? But she's got a great voice in her lower register right at the beginning of the song. And if they'd have I just wanted something bigger. You could hear some epic sort of gospel choir kind of backing vocals in the choruses. And if they'd have brought that out onto the stage and really done something big and magnificent with it, it really could have gone somewhere. And it's just a shame it's such a big opportunity missed.
Very, very true. Now, we're going to push the jewels to one side. We'll look at Oda's song Hammer of Thor in a moment. But the automatic qualifier this week was North Kid and someone, hang on a second. Oh, the curtains dropped. Well, it went well, didn't it? Elliot, curtain drop, yay or nay?
This reminds me of Canada's Drag Race where they have a musical and it says, and pause to the big reveal, and it went wrong. And then he does that and the curtain didn't drop properly. And they've got this shot of the poor drummer stuck behind this giant curtain. And it's all going wrong. And they can't stop it. It's like what you expect in the BBC. It's like a skit show or something, not primetime Norwegian telly. But the sad thing is, that's probably the most standout part of this performance. Like I said on Thursday, it ticks every single generic box. There he is looking like a Sam Smith Norwegian sad boy, singing, trying to make you feel things, and I'm just like, no, get off my screen. I have to ask, how is this an automatic qualifier? I have to ask that. There are better songs which have come through the semi-finals and are competing next week, and this song has been put through, I purely think, so they can have a band in the final. It's not going to do anything, and I'm a bit, I don't want to say annoyed, I'm just confused as to why this is an automatic qualifier. Like, what made this stand out in the list of 21 to put it directly through?
But the thing is, as it's been put on there, Bilal, won Sternekamp, Battle of the Stars. Mm-hmm. It's done on reputation, a lot of it, in terms of the direct qualification. And I mean, I know it's a common thing that we talk about almost every year, really, about the automatic qualifiers. Let's go to Sean. Did you like this one?
No. I mean, it's a lovely song, but he's just got no stage presence. It was like, it could have been singing about, have I left the iron on for all I mean, because that's the kind of expression he had on his face, wasn't he? Like, oh, have I left the iron on? It's like, and as far as the curtain drama is concerned, I think it was just about upstaged a little bit by the fake overacted guitar playing, which was probably the worst fake guitar playing that I've ever seen. It was just way over the top, and I know they were trying to just be enthusiastic, but it just no. Like you said, why was it a pre-qualifier? I don't get it.
Oh, guys, you're breaking my heart here. Nicholas, can you offer something, positive?
I don't know if I can. I don't think I paid much attention to the performance. I feel like, because I was so busy thinking about where were the producers at during it. The hard vote didn't come on. The curtain didn't drop properly. He had some problems with in-ears as well, it seemed like. I feel like everything went wrong in that performance, and it could be because they weren't supposed to perform this week and the technical team haven't had time enough to rehearse it. Whatever the case, it doesn't really matter. It's a fine song. I think we're being a little bit too harsh on it because it's not bad at all. It's not groundbreaking. It doesn't do anything, but put this on the radio and I'll happily dance along to it and have a fun time. Put this on like, a cozy, chilling playlist, and it's fine, right? And I think they've gotten through because they are a well-known name in Norway. I think there's a lot of young people who know them, who get behind them. It's not gonna win. It doesn't have the Tix effect. It's never going to win. But I don't think it's bad. It's nice enough. But he needs, like Sean says, he needs better stage presence because he looked angry and annoyed for most of the performance, and that doesn't really work.
There's only one thing that I've thought of with your comments there, Nicholas, because you said it would sound great on the radio. Are you saying he had a face for radio? And that's what I'm saying here.
I didn't say that. You said that.
No, I've just said that. Elina, you love
Yes.
boy band. Were you swooning over these guys?
Mm-mm. No, the whole time I was thinking that guy looks so familiar, and I don't know where I get it from. And then Elliot said Sam Smith, and I was like, oh, maybe that's him. But to be honest, I thought it was boring. Like I said before, I watched the songs on YouTube because I couldn't watch it on the NRK channel, and I even skipped through some parts because for me it was that boring. So I'm sorry, but no, I'm gonna put a dagger into your heart.
Oh. Right, Stu, come on then. Wrap this one up for us. And you're on time here. We're starting to look at the time. Benidorm Fest starts in about...
Is that your way of
6 minutes.
saying one-word answers from here on in? Now, listen, I think I'm going to agree with Nicholas. I think we have been a bit unduly unfair to this song. I thought it was good, actually. I thought it was the highlight of the evening. And I thought, and you could throw in the curtain malfunction into that too, because I think the whole package was fantastic. I love the fact seeing the drummer look like an escapologist trying to kind of get out from this bloody curtain, because he's trying to play the drums and all of a sudden someone's thrown something on him. Poor bugger. I mean, it's hard enough to work with what kind of material they'd given him, let alone have something thrown on him halfway through the performance. But seriously, I thought it was a fine song. I think it's good to have diversity in a final. Norway's going to definitely have diversity in this final, and it was absolutely okay. Not great, not amazing. Okay, I thought it was a decent delivery. Some emotion in Bilal's face. Certainly in his voice, and I quite liked it. There you go, Diana in the chat room. She said, come on, someone please agree with me. Just one of you. There you go. You kind of got me and Nicholas.
There we go. Stuart always aims to please. Now, the night belonged to Oda. Hammer of Thor. Yes, it's the earworm you'll find yourself singing to yourself when you wake up at 3 a.m. needing the loo. Now, my question for the panel, given the staging of this, and the staging was absolutely on point, especially compared with the disconnect we've talked about with so many of the other entries, was this one always destined to win? We'll start with Nicholas.
Oh, you really want to go there? She may have stole the hammer of Thor, but she's also stole my will and belief in the Norwegian public. No, I don't get this. I really, really don't get how this one went through whatsoever. And people who know me know that I don't like these sort of like Viking theme songs, but I almost feel like I've been too hard when it comes to these kind of songs in the past, because this is a new low for this kind of song. The lyrics make no sense, they are repetitive and sounds like something from a children's musical. The staging did nothing for me. I think it was boring. She sounds great, sure, but it's a lousy, boring attempt at making a Viking themed song, and I just don't get why people vote for this simply because it's Viking themed. We deserve better. We need to let music people know that we deserve better, because this is not good enough. And if this wins, I have lost all faith in Norway. Please don't let this win. This is possibly the worst song, in my opinion, of MGP this year. I don't get it at all.
Wow, I went there, didn't I? I mean, I suppose my point is that we had Murray Boller, Fancy Chair didn't really suit the song. Your loss. We had, bloody Hang Down Mike, whatever it is.
Hang Down Mike. Is that his name? Hang Down Mike.
That's what I've decided. We had.
That's it. Forever, Sterler's forever going to be known as Hang Down Mike.
Hang Down Mike. We had we did. We had the Hang Down Mike. We had the whole idea of the gold jumpsuit. This was the only song for me where the staging actually suited the song, where you had the close-up, the whole blue swirly thing, you had the whole flashes of thunder and lightning, the things like we said we'd get on Thursday night. I almost think that this was the song that they wanted. Stu, what do you think?
Completely agree with you. I thought I said on Thursday, this would be the one with the most dramatic staging, and it was. I thought they could have gone even further with it, to be honest. I was expecting full-on, Thor-type costumes, and I felt they didn't really go that far. It was kind of a weak attempt, but it still delivered better than everything else tonight. I mean, what does that tell you? But
very true.
I think come the final, I think Oda's going to go a step further. I would. The only chance this has of winning Melodi Grand Prix, and I don't think, Nicholas, you're in any danger of that happening, by the way, is for them to turn up in, full Thor outfits, like the Finnish winners back in 2007. You know, that kind of nice, okay, but pretty dull, honestly, and very, very annoyingly repetitive.
Well, you never know. She might even find the hammer. Sean, what did you think of this?
She didn't have the hammer. Where was the hammer at? If she's stolen it, why wasn't it there? I don't.
Exactly.
I get nothing about this.
It's called the Hammer of Tom. So Tom has it. That's why she didn't have the hammer.
Sean, what did you make of this?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. She should have called it "I hid the hammer of Thor." I mean, do you know what I mean? I hid the hammer of Thor because it were nowhere fucking near, were it? Let's face it. Excuse the French. Where is the bloody hammer? You keep going on about it for 3 minutes and it's not there. Is it in the bloody frozen thing, whatever it's called? I don't know. Dry ice? No. I mean, woman, next time, bring the hammer of Thor because I don't believe you. I think it's just a fairy tale you made up.
Oh, why?
It's an all right song. It was all right staging.
Wise word there from Sean. Elena, what did you make of the hammer of Thor?
Okay, first of all, I'm calling it the Hammer of Tom. Let's be clear from now on. It's the Hammer of Tom. I'm dedicating it to you. I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for all the Viking-inspired music that's in Eurovision. So I am also a sucker for this one. Am I the only one who's seeing a resemblance? She had like a tunnel view on the background and it looked so familiar. And I've seen it before on Eurovision. But I can remember, Fuego, that's it. Okay, now, yeah, I've said it all. It's okay.
Right, Elliot, I'm going to let you have the final word almost on this song.
Oh, firstly, it felt clear this is the one NRK picked when as you said, about the cohesion of production and the lighting and everything. They put a lot of time and thought into this compared to the other three. It felt like, because as I said, it all made sense and it looked very impressive. We then had the drama of Marley against Oda again, and Oda gets her quote unquote revenge over Marley because Marley beat her in Idol. And obviously Oda's now beating her in the duel. So it felt, I don't want to say staged, but it's quite clear that obviously when Elsie Bay had 2 days to write these 2 songs, she spent all her time on Death of Us and realised, shit, I've got half an hour to write another song, that'll do. And they just gave it to Oda. Because the lyrics...
Copy and paste.
Because the lyrics are dire. They are. She sings them well. Oda's a fabulous singer and she looks incredible. But the song is repetitive, the lyrics are naff, the staging with the drummers didn't make a lot of sense, but it still made some sense, and it did feel a bit like Higher Ground, which is probably why Nicholas feels such a dislike and hatred towards it. No, it shouldn't have gone through. I said I didn't like it on Thursday. My thoughts haven't changed. It's probably going to open the final just to get it. It'll be a good show opener for the final, but it's not a hope in hell is this winning.
Hey, thanks for that, Elliot. Guys, we are totally out of time. We are about 45 seconds away from the start of Benidorm Fest over in Spain. I'd like to say a massive thanks to my panel this evening. Big thanks to Elliot, big thanks to Elena, big thanks to Nicholas, big thanks to Sean, and of course, big thanks to my co-host, Stu. Stu, I will see you in about 2 hours' time. We'll be back 11:30 Central European time.
No. midnight Central European time.
Central European time. I'll be asleep. You can be hosting, and we will see you then very, very soon. Until then, enjoy Benidorm Fest and take care. Thanks very much. Bye bye.